Hello students. Hi Pallad everybody. Welcome you all in my YouTube class. In today's video, we will discuss macroeconomics class 12th. The name of the chapter that we will discuss today is money and banking. This is my second video on banking. In today's class, we will discuss two important topics. We will discuss the types of the bank, and after that we will discuss in detail the history and the structure of RBI. This particular topic is very important from competition point of view, very important. Hot questions can be framed from this particular topic. Without wasting the time period, let us start the chapter. Remember, banks can be classified into various categories. Some authors have defined or categorized the bank into 5 categories. Some have categorized into 4 categories. Let us see the categories into which some people have categorized it. Some people says that there are 5 types of the bank, and they say that there is a central bank, there is a commercial bank, there is cooperative bank, there is a specialized bank, and there is development bank. While some people says that there are only 4 categories of the bank, and they say that the first type is central bank, the second is commercial, then we are having cooperative banks, and then we are having specialized bank. They never talk about the development bank, because the development and the specialized bank, they join together and put the heading specialized bank. But taking all together, we can say that we are having 9 types of the bank. I mean, if we forget about the categories, so the bank can be categorized into 9 categories for the better confabulation, for the better understanding. Let us see those 9 categories. The first is central bank. Second one is cooperative banks. Then we are having commercial banks. Then we are having regional rural banks, RRB. Then we are having local area banks. Then we are having specialized banks. Then special finance bank. Then payment bank. And the last one is the nano bank or the neo bank. I have not written it over here, but there are 9 types of the bank. Neo bank is of recent origin. In our country, we are having 10 neo bank. We will discuss all these things in detail in this particular video. In this video, we will not discuss the commercial bank. The question is why we will not discuss the commercial bank? Because I'll make a separate video in detail on commercial banks, and the functions of the central bank will not be discussed in this particular video, and for the functions also I made separate video. Let us discuss and start with the central bank. When we are talking about the central bank, always remember in each and every country, we are having a bank, and the work which is being given to that particular bank is to regulate all the other banks. The main function which is being performed by the central bank is, it is the government banks. It regulates the monetary policy. It issue the currencies, provide instructions and guidance to the government, and other important functions are there. As I told you, we will discuss all the function in detail, but for the understanding right now, we should know that it is the bank which regulate all the other banks, issue the currencies, and frame the monetary policy. In every country, we are having the central bank. For example, in America, the name of the central bank is Federal Reserve. In UK, the name of the central bank is Bank of England. Switzerland, Swiss National Bank. South Africa, South African Reserve Bank. Bangladesh, Central Bank of Bangladesh, and so on. In the MCQs, the examiner may ask you, write down or tell me the name of any 2 central bank of different countries. So we should know it, in fact. Come to the main topic. As I told you, the name of our central bank is Reserve Bank of India. And the main functions, as I told you, which is being given, of which the central bank or the RBI is performing, is it is guiding the other banks, issuing currency, implementing the monetary policy, work as a supervisor of the financial system, and so on. Now let us discuss the history of RBI. What is the name of our central bank? RBI. So in this particular video, we will focus more on the history and the structure of RBI only. Before the formation of the RBI, always remember, the work of the RBI was performed by the Imperial Bank. The formal name of the Imperial Bank was the Presidency Bank. The three banks collectively called the Presidency Bank. They are the Bank of Bengal, Bank of Bombay, and the Bank of Chennai. So these banks are collectively called Presidency Banks. And later on in the year 1921, these banks be merged together and it is being called by the name Imperial Bank. So before the formation of the RBI, the bank which is performing the work of the RBI was Imperial Bank. The latest name or the current name of the Imperial Bank is the State Bank of India. In the previous video, we have already discussed all about the Imperial Bank and the State Bank of India. For more information, what you can do it, you can check that video. From that video, got complete information about the Imperial Bank. In 1920, British government formed a commission. Remember one thing, if the government want to do anything, the very first thing that the government do is they establish the commission, and on the basis of the report, because in the report the critical assessment is being done, and on the basis of the assessment, the government implement the policies. So government want to make the central bank. So for the central bank, the government formed a commission, and the name of that commission was the Royal Commission of Indian Currency and Finance. This particular commission, that is the Royal Commission of Indian Currency and Finance, was very popularly called Hilton and Young Commission. Very common question. So many times is being asked. In competition is very common question. In 1934, the RBI Act was passed and the RBI started its office in 1935. RBI, for your understanding, I should tell you, RBI is a statutory body. When I say RBI is a statutory body, it means that RBI is a body which is being formed by passing a resolution in the parliament. Listen, there are two types of the bodies. One is called the constitutional body and the other one is called the statutory body. The question is, what is statutory body? Any organization which is being formed by passing a legislation in the parliament, that is called statutory body. The example of the statutory body is RBI. And the constitutional body is that body which comes into origin by making changes in the constitution. So RBI is not the constitutional but rather a statutory body because it is being formed by passing a special act in the parliament. Now let us see, we should remember the head office of the RBI. Initially the central bank of RBI was established in Calcutta but was permanently moved to Mumbai in the year 1937. So currently the head office of the central bank is in Mumbai. RBI was nationalized on 1st Jan 1945. Initially RBI was privately owned, then it was owned by the government of India. How? Through the nationalization. Now let us discuss the structure of the RBI. RBI is having 4 local boards. They are in Bombay, Calcutta, Madras and Delhi. I'm using the old name. Bombay, Mumbai I have not written it. Calcutta, Madras, Chennai I have not written it. So the local board of the RBI is in metropolitan cities, that is Bombay, Calcutta, Madras and Delhi. So it has 4 local boards. It has 20 regional offices, 11 sub offices. So overall it has 5 places from where they are doing the operations. So under the structure, we are having 4 local boards, 20 regional office, and 11 sub offices. Now let us discuss the board of directors. The total number of the board of directors is 21. First one is the governor. We know that today the present governor of the RBI is Shaktikant Das. Remember, he is the 25th governor of RBI. The first governor of RBI in the year 1935 was Osborne Smith. He was from 1935 till 1937. The first governor of India, first the governor of Indian origin was C.D. Deshmukh. He is the first governor of Indian origin. In the RBI, we are having 4 deputy governors. Presently, the 4 deputy governors are M.K. Jain, M.D. Patra, B.P. Kanungo, and Rajeshwar Rao. In the board of directors, the 4 members comes from the local boards, that is Bombay, Calcutta, Madras, and Delhi. 2 members comes from the finance ministry. 10 members comes from government of India. So the total becomes 21. Now let us discuss the subsidies of RBI. RBI is having 100% 4 subsidiaries. Earlier we were having 5, but right now we are only having 4 subsidiaries. The first subsidiary of RBI is Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation of India, that is DICGC. What is the first subsidiary? That is Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation of India. This subsidiary of RBI, they insured the depositors' money. Insured the depositor money, what it means? It means whatever the money the people deposit in the commercial banks, this subsidiary give the insurance to the depositor till 2 lakh rupees. It means that during the financial emergency, the person will not lose the deposits. They will get 2 lakh rupees maximum. When I say maximum, what it means? It means suppose your deposit is 30,000 rupees, you get 30,000 rupees. And if your deposit is 5 lakh rupees, you only get 2 lakh rupees. So the maximum insurance this subsidy gives to the depositor is 2 lakh rupees. That is the work of the Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantee Corporation. In the year 2019, this subsidy was very common. It was in news. Earlier, the maximum amount was 1 lakh rupees. Now it increased to 2 lakh rupees. The second subsidiary of RBI is Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudra Private Limited. This subsidiary of RBI is very important, very, very important in fact. The question is why I am emphasizing on this subsidiary of RBI? Because this subsidiary of RBI issues or print the currency note. So when it is be asked which subsidiary of the RBI print currencies on behalf of RBI, the name of that subsidiary is Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudra Private Limited. The third important subsidiary is Reserve Bank Information Technologies and Private Limited. It gives cyber security to the depositors. The other is Indian Finance Nifty and Allied, Indian Financial Technology and Allied Services. This subsidiary provide the online transaction services. Example, Nifty is there, REER is there, and so on. They provide technical services mostly. Now let us discuss the important topic, the printing of note in India. Remember one thing, in our country, we are having how many printing press? We are having printing press in 4 places. The first is Mysore, second one is Salboni, third is Devas, and the last one is Nasik. In our country, we are having 4 printing presses, and from these printing press, the currency is being printed. The first 2 printing press, that is Mysore and the Salboni, these are owned by the RBI. Through these printing press, the subsidiary of the RBI, that is Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudra Private Limited, issue the currency, print the currencies. Mysore is in Karnataka, Salboni, Madhya Pradesh, Devas, West Bengal, Nasik, Maharashtra. Devas and Nasik. From these two places, the government of India issue the print the currencies, and on behalf of the government of India, its subsidiary, that is Security of Printing and Minting Corporation of India, print the currency. So, what is the name of the subsidiaries owned by the government of India? The subsidiaries owned by the government of India is Security of Printing and Minting Corporation of India. How we can remember these names? We can remember with these names through one abbreviation, that is MSDN. How we can remember this abbreviation? That is Mahendra Singh Dhoni New. Mahendra means Mysore, Singh means Salboni, Dhoni means Devas, New means Nasik. From this, we can remember the very important printing presses in India. The note which is being printed from the printing press of RBI bore the signature of the Governor of India, and the note which is being printed by the Government of India, the Finance Minister put the signature on it. Current Finance Minister is Subhash Chandra Garg. Let us see the paper mill which provide the papers to the printing presses. All the printing press got the paper from the Banknote Paper Mill India Private Limited. You can see the picture. This is the picture of the printing press which is in Mysore. This is the picture of the printing press which is in Salboni. This is the picture of the printing press in Devas, and this is the picture of the printing press in Nasik. Now let us discuss the types of the banks. We have discussed the central bank. Now comes the cooperative bank. In India, the cooperative banks are registered under the State Cooperative Societies Act. They are also under the regulatory ambit of the RBI of India under two laws, namely the Banking Regulation Act 1949 and the Banking Law, that is Cooperative Societies Act 1955. The question is why it is under two act for the dual regulation. It is being decided in the year 1966 that the cooperative banks should be put under dual regulation. So the cooperative banks are registered under the State Cooperative Societies Act and under the Reserve Bank of India Banking Regulation Act 1949. Now let us see the types of the cooperative banks. In our country, we are having three types of the cooperative bank. The first is Primary Credit Society. Then we are having Central Cooperative Banks. Then we are having State Cooperative Banks. I repeat, what is cooperative bank? In India, cooperative banks are registered under the State Cooperative Societies Act. They are also under the regulatory ambit of RBI. There are three types of the cooperative banks, that is primary credit societies, central cooperative banks and state cooperative banks. That is more than sufficient. Now let us discuss the RRB. It deals with the customers. Customers can open their accounts in RRB. RRB stands for Regional Rural Banks. It was opened on 2nd October 1975. It was opened on the recommendation of one committee. Let us see what is the name of that committee which recommended the RRB. The name of that committee is Narasimha Committee. This name is very important. Initially, 5 RRBs were established. The first established RRB was Pratima Bank, established on 2nd October 1975. RRB was jointly owned by the central government, state government and the sponsored bank. Remember one thing, this Pratima Bank is sponsored by the syndicate bank. All the RRBs are the sponsored bank. The share of the government in the RRB is 50%, state government share is 15%, and the standard sponsored bank share is 35%. Now let us discuss the local area banks. The local area banks are set up in district towns and are required to function within their own area which in normal case does not exceed three district. It means that local area banks are set up in district towns and are required to function within three districts. These local area banks can be set up by any individual, corporate houses, trust or society with a minimum paid up capital of 5 crore rupees. Remember, as per the Government of India schemes announced in 1966, the local area banks was formed. In our country, we only have four local area banks. These are non-scheduled banks. Now let us discuss the specialized banks. Specialized bank means those banks which satisfy the specific needs. These banks provide financial aids to industries and foreign trade. So what are the sponsored banks? Specialized banks. These are the banks which provides or which cater the needs of the industries and the foreign trade. There are three important specialized banks in our country. Important. The first is Export Import Bank of India, commonly called EXIMS. Then we are having Small Industrial Development Bank of India. We are having NABARD's National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. NABARD is a very important topic. 3 to 4 marks question can be plot or can be asked from this NABARD. So I'll make a separate video on NABARD. So we have seen the specialized banks. These banks provide financial aids to industries and foreign trade. And the important specialized bank also we have seen. Now let us discuss the small financial banks. These are financial institutions that intend to fund the need of unprivileged sections through basic banking activities of lending. So what are the small financial banks? These are the financial institutions which is being framed to meet out the requirements of the underprivileged sections by providing loans to them. The minimum capital of the small financial bank is 100 crore. Small financial banks do not offer loan like commercial banks, but the small financial banks do offer loans like commercial bank, but they offer the loan or give loan to the underprivileged sections. They never give loan to the big business houses and all. What is the main objectives? The main objective is provisions of saving vehicles, etc. Supply of credit to small business units, MSME. Through this bank, the government announced to provide loan to the MSME. This was in news in the year 2020. Now let us discuss the very important topic, that is a payment bank. And when we hear the word payment bank, we only think that the Paytm is the payment bank in India. A payment bank is like any other bank, but operating on a small scale without involving any credit risk. What it means? It means that payment bank is like any other bank which are doing the operation in our country, but they avoid credit risk. It means they only accept the deposits and they only make the payments on behalf of the consumers. They never provide loans to the depositors or to any of the people. Earlier, the money which the people can hold as a deposit in the payment bank is 1 lakh rupees. Now it increased to 2 lakh rupees. On 11th April 2016, the first payment bank was established in the country, and the name of that very bank was Airtel Payment Bank, not Paytm. In our country, there are 6 payment bank which are in operations. 10 people have applied for the license. Till date, 6 are in operation. The first is Airtel Payment Banks. Then we are having India Post Payment Bank, owned by the Post Office, Indian Postal Services. Then we are having Fino Payment Banks. Then we are having Geo Payment Banks. Then we are having, yes, everybody knows this bank, Paytm. And the last one is NSDL Payment Bank, that is National Security Deposits Limited. Now let us discuss the new bank which is in limelight, that is the neo bank or the nano bank. That is one giant leap for banking in today's complex and the ever-changing banking environment. Neo bank is poised to deliver innovative technology and products in the complicated world. which we are facing right now. This neo bank provide comforts, provide services by which we peoples are, life becomes very easy. So this neo bank, there are overall 10 nano bank in a country. It is also called neo banks. Currently, there are, as I told you, 10 neo bank in India. Some are more expected to start their operation soon. Neo banks would take some more years to disrupt market. Neo banks are considered completely digital, 100% digital. They operate entirely online with no physical branches. Remember one thing, very important thing. According to our RBI guidelines, new bank cannot do the business of their own in our country. Why? The question is why they cannot do the work of their own, because according to RBI guidelines, the commercial bank should have the physical branches. Since the neo bank they don't have any physical branch, so they can't think of doing the business of their own. So they have to attach themselves with the commercial banks, and by attaching themselves through the commercial banks, they are doing the business. They only provide digital, services, banking services through the apps. That's all I have in this video. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please uh, spread the video, and please give the information to more and more people that free economic class is being started. This class I have started so that more and more people should be benefited. They should stay home. They should not move out, because during the pandemic time period, it is advisable to stay in the home. So when the classes will be given, then they will stay in the home. They will not go for the tuitions and all. And one very important thing: stay home, stay safe, and above all, don't forget to wear mask. Om Shanti.